Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm Mr. Kadim Khan and I'm a lecturer in the Institute of Computing, Kuwait University of Science and Technology. Today we will take lecture number 29 of the subject of software quality engineering, in which we are going to discuss the classic model of software quality costs. Dear students, in this lecture we will understand how we can measure the software quality cost using a certain software quality cost model. So this lectures is in fact guide you to understand the components which will be used to measure for software quality costs. So stay tuned with us. This is the discussion agenda. It contains the topics of the classics model of the cost of software quality. Here we will introduce the software class model for measuring the cost of the software quality. Then good and bad quality cost. Here means that what are the good quality cost and bad quality cost. Example of good and bad quality cost. Prevention cost, appraisal cost, increment, internal cost and external cost. These are certain costs that will be required to measure the software quality cost. And at the end we have the application of cost of software quality system, that where it can be applied, and problems in the application of cost of software quality metrics, means that different issues that can arise when we want to apply the cost of software quality metrics. So these are important components used to measure the cost of the quality. Now, the classical model of cost of software quality is decomposed of two different subsections. First section is called the cost of control, while second section of cost of software quality is cost of failure of controls. So these are two different sections here. Means that when we want to measure the software quality, we have to divide certain measurement of the cost in terms of two sub costs here. The cost of control is in fact, it includes the cost that are spent to prevent or detect the software's errors in order to reduce them to accepted levels. So cost of control is in fact the measurements of preventions and detection as well for the errors that in fact reduce the quality of the software. So all these costs that occurs on the prevention and detection of the software's errors is called cost of controls. The second cost is the cost of failure of control, means that it includes the cost of failure that occurred because of the failures to prevent and detect the software failures. So to detect and then prevent the failure of the software is called cost of failure of control. So these two costs are combined with each other to compute the cost of software quality. Now we can divide these two costs into sub-costs as well. So first one is the prevention cost and the appraisal cost. Prevention cost means that the failure will be prevented here, that will not be occurred, and appraisal cost means that the overall observations of the occurrence of the failures and the cost that occur on the observations. While the cost of failures of the control cost is also divided into internal failure cost and external failure cost. Internal failure cost means that the failures which occurs due to the internal reasons of the organizations. For example, the programmer's mistake is one of them. While external failure cost means that the failures occurs due to external reasons and the cost occur on that particular external failures. For example, the cost of certain third-party organization which has the responsibility to monitor the observations of the user environment, and they have wrongly observed all the environment of the users, and they have in fact visited that user environment, but they have done wrong observations. So all the costs that occur on the external failure cost is in fact the cost of failure of the control costs here. Now we will explain all these terms in more details here. There are two types of cost of the cost of quality. First one is called cost of control and second one is called the cost of failure of control. Now cost of controls mean the prevention cost plus appraisal cost. While prevention costs include the investment that in the quality infrastructure and quality activities which are not directed to the specific projects or system needs, and that project or system being general to the organizations means that we have to prevent that certain defects or errors should not arise here. While in the appraisal cost, it includes all certain costs are the activities of certain cost of those activities which are performed for specific project or the software system for the proposal of detecting the software's errors. So all these observations that are made for the um, detections of the all software errors is called the appraisal's cost. And also we have the internal failure cost and external failure cost, and combined they are called the cost of failure of the controls. Now in the cost of failure of the controls, the internal failure cost contains all costs for correcting the errors which have been detected by the design reviews, and similarly software test, acceptance tests, and all the in fact the implementations errors that have happened during the implementation of software system. So it includes all certain costs that occurs inside of the development organizations. And similarly, the external costs are those cost which occurs for the correcting failures detected by the customer or maintenance team after the software system has been installed. So when the software system is installed or deployed on the user environment, then certain cost which occurs on the detection and maintenance of that particular failure is called the external cost. Now, good or bad quality cost. There are two types of quality cost: good quality cost and bad quality cost. Here, prevention and appraisal cost represent the good quality cost. Means that the good quality cost are those quality costs mean that which are which do not detect any sort of failures, but just that cost occurs on the prevention and appraisals of the quality. While the internal and external quality costs are called the poor quality cost because these costs occurs on the successful detections of the failures of the in the projects. Now, what are the reasons that there are good and bad quality costs? So, good quality cost, the project is not failed, while in the bad quality cost, the project usually fails. Similarly, reduce the bad quality cost by investing in good quality costs here. So we can reduce the bad quality cost when we invest more in the good quality cost. So it means that we have to um, cost more on the good quality, that is the cost occurring on the preventions and appraisals, while the cost occurring on the bad quality cost will be the all cost occurring on the internal and external failures. So increasing the budget for prevention and appraisals cost should be reduced the cost of internal and external failures. So when we increase this cost will be reduced. But if we want to reduce this cost will be increased, and it will be increased a lot. So it doesn't happens, then there are problems. So if this does not happens, then there are problems. So we must have to increase more on the budget for the prevention and appraisal cost here. Now this is certain statistics which will tell you that what should be the best ratio here and what is the worst ratio. For example, in the first steps of the software quality costing, if there are good quality cost, 0 reals means that we are not investing anything on the good quality cost, then the bad quality cost will be largely, it will be it will be 1 million here. Now total will be 0 plus 1 million is equal to 1 million reals. Now in the second steps, if good quality cost increased to 50,000 reals, so the bad quality cost decreased to 900,000 reals. So that is a significant decrease here. So the bad quality cost will be decreased here. So the total cost will be 950,000 reals here. So you can see that is way less than 1 million reals. So if the good quality cost increased to 100,000 reals and the bad quality cost is decreased to 700,000 reals, so the total of this will be, in fact, the total cost will be 800,000 reals. So you can see that that is still less than the step 1. Now, if good quality cost increased to 150,000 reals, bad quality cost will be decreased to 500,000 reals. Means that that is significant decrease. So the total cost will be 650,000 reals here. So you can see that why it is, because we are increasing good quality cost here, not the bad quality cost. So that is in fact showing us how we should invest on the quality cost. Now, first one was the prevention cost. The prevention will prevent the errors or defects that occurs here on the in the project. So these are the prevention cost. Prevention cost are three subtypes of cost: investments in development of SQA infrastructure components. So all those components which are developed by the as an infrastructure of software quality assurance, investment in the development of certain software quality assurance infrastructure components are including procedures and work instructions, support device, templates, checklists, etc. Software configuration management systems and software quality metrics. So all these are includes in the SQA infrastructure component investment. Regular implementation of software quality assurance prevention activities. So if we regularly prevent the software quality assurance activities, and these are different costs for the implementations of the prevention activities in software quality assurance. This includes instructions of new employees in SQA projects, so means that training the new employees, certification of the employees, their certification and consultation and SQA issues to team leaders and others. So if there are certain team leaders and other members which are used as a consultants for the software quality assurance, then the cost occurring on these are called regular implementation of software quality assurance preemptive cost. C is the control of SQL system through the performance of internal quality reviews. When we perform this after internal quality review, then the cost will be decreased. Similarly, external quality audits also helps us to reduce the cost. Similarly, management quality reviews also help us to reduce the cost. So these are different sort of the preventive cost here. The next cost is the appraisal cost. And the appraisal cost means the cost of reviews or the observations cost. So when we in fact provide a quick reviews to the software quality cost, then that is called the appraisal cost of the quality. Cost of reviews or the appraisals in fact is divided into three different costs: cost of review, cost of software testing, and cost of assuring quality of the external participant. Now, cost of reviews includes formal design reviews that are called DRs, that is design reviews. Formal design reviews mean that here the review is provided formally for different components of the designs, and this includes the architecture styles and patterns of the software systems. Then they are reviewed that whether they have certain defects or problems or not. The second one is called the peer reviews. In the peer reviews, we have to inspect it that whether these components have certain peer defects identified by the peers or not. In the peer reviews, the peers identify the defects in the components, and the peers are those people which are the same as like programmers are the designers or testers that have the same capabilities as like us. So it contains inspections and walkthroughs. In inspections, the reviews is done by the highly formal and skillful people, while in the walkthrough, the review is performed just in the quick fashions. In inspections, the the these suggestions are also provided for the corrections. That is, the corrective measurements are also taken place. While in the walkthrough, only suggestions is provided, but no corrective measurements are provided here, or no corrective steps are performed. Next is the expert reviews by in the cost of reviews. Here, the third party experts are invited for the review purpose, and these experts may be some government organization experts as well, or some third party experts. For example, CMMI experts or ISO experts can be invited for the review here. The next components in the appraisal cost includes cost of software testings. So these are different costs that occurs on the different sort of testings, including unit testing, integration testing, and software system testings as well. So also these include the acceptance testings that is carried out by the customers to accept the final product when that product is installed on the user or the customer environments. And the third test is called the third types of the appraisal cost includes the cost of assuring quality of the external participants. So all these external participants which are invited to for the appraisals cost, appraisal purpose contains the appraisal cost here. Now also we include the internal failures costs. Internal failures costs are those costs which occurs into internal of the organizations, and this cost includes cost of redesigning or designs correction or subsequent to the design reviews and test finding cost. Internal cost contains all sort of the cost, for example the designing cost, testing cost, reprogramming or corrective programming cost. If there are certain programming bugs in the system, then we requires the reprogramming or corrective programming. So that cost also includes the cost of repeated designs reviews and retesting cost, which include the regression test. While in the regression test, when the system is maintained and retest is performed, then it is called the regression test here. So these are called internal failure cost because these cost occurs when we want to identify certain failures which are results due to the internal mistakes in the software development, and mostly they are the part of software process models mistakes, and they will be, for example, the designs problems, the implementation problem, testing problems as well. So these are the part of the organization which are developing the software systems. The next important cost includes for the software quality is the external failure cost. The external failure cost also includes two subtypes of the cost: typical external failure cost cover and typical examples of the forbidden hidden external failure costs. So this includes mainly the external failure costs, which include resolutions of the customer complaints during the warranty period. So if the customer complained about the products during the warranty period, then to resolve certain complaints, these are called the external failure costs. Second is the correction of software bugs detected during the regular operations. If the customer or user is using the software system regularly in his or her environment, then certain bugs may arise there. So correction of all certain bugs uh, will be called the external failure cost, meaning that the cost occurs on the correction of software bugs detected during the regular operations are called also the external failure cost. Third, correction of software failures after the warranty period is over. When the warranty period is over, then still customers complain about the software failures, and then the correction or the maintenance that occur on the software failures after the expiring the warranty, then that cost are also the types of the external failures cost here. Next one is the damages paid to the customers in case of severe software failures. When the software is severely failed or crashed, that means the catastrophic crashing of the softwares, then the cost occurs on the damage that is paid to the customers. In that particular case is called the external failure cost, and it is the damage paid to the customer in case of severe failure cost. And mostly if the organization is of the low quality, then they have to repay or reimburse all the expenses occur on the development of the project by the customers to the customers here. So that is very much a dangerous situation when the customer demands for the payment that occurred on the as a budget on the projects by the customers because of the severe failures to the softwares. Third, reimbursements of the customer purchase tool. And if there are certain defects that occurs, then all sort of the reimbursement will be paid by the development organizations to the customers. So all the reimbursement of the customer purchased cost will also include the external failure cost here. Insurance against the customer's claims also the external failure cost here. The insurance includes that if for example you are developing the software which will control the car, and due to your software the car has damaged because the software contains certain defects which is unable, and due to that defects the system is unable to drive the cars, then certain insurance that will occurs on the cars will be paid by the development organizations, and then the customer is liable to claim for the insurance against the particular costs, and that is the types of the external failure cost. Now, there are certain examples of the hidden external failures costs. It includes reduction of sales to the customer that suffer from the software failures. So means that the sales will be reduced due to the failure of the software. Similarly, severe reduction of sales motivated by the firm's damaged reputations. If the reputation of the development organization is degraded, then the reduction in the sales of the software will occur. Similarly, increase investment in sales promotion to counter the effect of the past software failures. If due to the past software failures, then we have to increase investment on the sales promotion again here to again gain the honors. Here we have to increase the investment on the sales of due to the sales promotions. Reduce the prospectus to win a tender, or alternatively the news to underprice to compete with the competitions for winning the tenders here. So when we want to win the tenders, so here we need to do competitions here with another organization which are developing the same softwares. So here we have to uh, to implement or to increase investment costs on the winning the tender based on certain computations. Application of cost of software quality systems means that where the cost of software quality system will be applied. So first of all, the cost of a software quality system is applied on the definition of a cost of software quality models. So first we have to define the model for our project which will measure the cost here. As we have discussed the classic model of software quality cost. So here first we need to completely define all the steps in the cost for software quality and specification of cost items and all the items specifications and the cost that occurs on the specification of these items. Second application is applied on the definition of the methods data collection for each cost items. As we have discussed in the previous three slides, we have discussed different sort of the elements cost. So here the method of data collection for each cost items is also defined here. Next, applications of cost of software quality systems, including thorough follow-up. So thorough follow-up is used to identify the system completely, which will be used to for the identification of cost of software quality system. Action taken in response to findings. So all certain steps which are taken for findings, these costs are also included here. So we must have to include all sort of the actions which are proceeded for finding the cost of software quality systems, and different costs are identified here. Now, computing the cost of software quality matrix is very much complex task, and there may be certain problems may arise here while computing the application of cost of software quality matrix. Now, general problems includes inaccurate or incomplete identification and classification of quality cost. So, if certain components are inaccurately measured or incompletely identified, so then there will be the problems. So similarly, negligent reporting by a team members. If team members do not respond well, then there will be the problem here in the calculation of the cost of software quality. Also, bias reporting for software cost. Bias means that if intentionally they provide some wrong data or biased information about the software cost, especially if censored internal and external cost. Means that censors means that if there are third parties which are in fact include or decluding the internal or external cost, and they are censors. So all these costs will be called the biased reporting cost here. Similarly, biased recording of external failure cost and compensation of customers for failures also will wrongly calculate the cost of quality. That means that if the customers is in fact has certain relation with our SQA persons, then the bias recording of external failure cost will occur here. Similarly, problem arising when collecting data on the managerial cost will also be the problems in the computation of cost of quality. So it includes contracts reviews and progress control activities are performed in a part-time mode. Means that if they are not performed in the full-time mode, then there will be the great chance of the mistakes here. And the reporting of time invested is usually inaccurate or often neglected. Similarly, many participants in these activities are senior staff members who are not required to report use of their time resources. When their resources are not efficiently utilized, then there will be the problem in the applications or that is the measurement of the cost of software quality. Difficulties in determining of responsibilities for schedule failures are also included here. That if they are due to the schedule problems, if it is difficult to determine the proper measurement, then it will be another problems. Payment of overt and formal compensations usually that occurs sometimes after the project is completed and much too late for efficient application of lesson learned. So basically, when the payment has been not been provided on the right time, so then also we cannot measure the exact cost of software quality here. Now, dear students, this is the end of the lecture. If you want to read more about these topics, you should read this book. The book is Software Quality Assurance from Theory to Implementation by Daniel Gallen. And this is very interesting books and very useful. And still, if you have any questions, you can ask these questions through the email. My email is m.kadim@kust.edu.pk. I will wait for your question and will respond immediately as soon as I get them. Thank you very much.